Alright guys, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm doing pretty good myself. I got a couple things in the mail today. One of them we will be looking at. But I also grabbed this. Found it for pretty cheap, so I couldn't resist. I didn't have it yet. So, yeah, definitely not bad at all. Pretty nice casting. Blister's really scuffed up and scratched up, but that's okay. We'll be opening it at some point anyways. I think there's another one in this pretty much the same livery, but it says West on it. So you got the East and West ones. So I'll have to pick that one up soon. But you guys have been, a couple of you guys have requested this one a couple times. So I went ahead and bought one. Why not? We got the FiberRun Pagani Cinque. I think that's how you pronounce it. Cinque. So very cool. Pagani Zonda Cinque. Excuse me. So yeah, this is a new brand. This is their first release. I think technically they did have one before this. It was a Zonda Cinque in black, all black carbon fiber. They released it at, was it Malaysia Diecast Expo? I think it was Malaysia Diecast Expo. Maybe it was a different one. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I forgot to really look. But yeah, they did one in full black carbon fiber. Then this is the first regular release. And then they have three colors of I believe it's a Subaru Impreza hatchback. I don't know exactly which one. And they just announced a new pre-order today for a Subaru Forester. So definitely an interesting mix of stuff. But so far, it looks like we're going to be getting Pagani and Subaru from them. Like I said, though, new brand, they are claiming that everything's going to be licensed, everything officially licensed. They seem to have a lot of passion for the actual cars themselves. And they are also really nicely detailed. So with that being said, it's definitely a brand that's on my radar, and I will be open to collecting them as long as they remain legit. Obviously, if they start putting out models that are unlicensed, I won't cover them anymore, but they're off to a pretty good start in my opinion. So, just so you guys know, this is standard Inno64 and Tarmac Works size packaging. It might be slightly taller. Yeah, it is slightly taller. You can see the difference right there. But aside from that, they are pretty much identical. Same width and same length. So that does mean, like, if you have Tarmac Works protectors, they will fit. They'll be a little snug just because they are a little bit taller. But yeah, pretty standard size, which I like it when brands keep it standard like that. But yeah, FiberRun. So yeah, let's crack into it. You've got your Pagani licensing at the bottom there. Pretty good. Pagani Zonda Cinque. Doesn't tell you the color or anything, but that's okay. And it is FB, which stands for FiberRun, 64, which is 64 scale, and then 001001. So I don't know why it's I don't know why it has 001 twice, but yeah, first model, 164 scale, of course. This is die-cast, so we'll go ahead and look into it. This is actually the first Zonda Cinque. I feel like Cinque sounds offensive. I think that's how it's pronounced, though. But, yeah, I think it's the first one in my collection. Pretty standard. You got the card in the back. A little bit of, like, a background. And then clear... Whoa, that just fell off. Clear acrylic case, of course. And then the bottom is, like, a frosted acrylic. You've got Zonda Cinque on the base. And then you've got some tape. And then this does have an opening rear hatch, or removable rear hatch. And so this is going to have a little strap that kind of retains it. I'm hoping it's like held on with magnets because that strap is not going to go back on. So most companies that do this will put a plastic insert in to keep the part down. All right, guys, sorry for the interruption, but I wanted to mention this real quick. Disregard everything I said about there not being a retainer or tray to hold the rear hatch in the packaging. There actually is. So from what I'm seeing, they all do come with a plastic tray in the packaging, kind of up against like the back part of the acrylic, standing vertically, that holds the rear hatch. So I don't know if I just got one that was opened and the seller didn't put the tray back in, or if I got ripped off, or if I got an early packaged version of it that just didn't have it. But if you're going to go buy one of these, make sure you're buying one that has the plastic tray. Mine Mine should have had it, but it didn't. I think I got ripped off from the seller. So yeah, disregard everything that I say later in the video about it not having a tray. I still wish it had magnets to hold the hatch down. That's kind of a spoiler alert, but yeah, I got ripped off. I was wrong about that. So yeah, back to the video. But they opted for a little strap. So yeah, I don't know really much about the construction of this. I do want to take this off the base. Oh, that feels like it's just sitting on it. Yeah, I don't think there's a magnet. Anyways, let's take it off the base real quick. This is going to be... Oh, that screw is really, like, tight. Yikes. Okay. Well, it came out. Hopefully, maybe it'll get looser the more you take it on and off. Is it the little plastic insert on the base that's tight, or is it on the actual car that's tight? Oh, I can't even get it, can't even like thread it back into that hole. So it must be this little plastic insert, or maybe the hole in the bottom of the base is a little tight, so that might loosen up. But yeah, pretty standard base with the little plastic insert and peg to keep it in place and everything. But yeah, so here is the model. So yeah, it does have this removable hatch. I was really hoping that it was going to be held on with magnets, but it is not. It just sits on there like that. So that's going to be one that you got to be, if you put it back in the packaging without that little plastic strap that I threw away, you got to be very careful so this thing doesn't flop around and break. But just looking at the car, it does look really good. Do the wheels roll? Because I know that's going to be everyone's first question. I can roll them pretty easily with my fingers, but does it roll on the table on a flat surface? It does not. The wheels kind of roll a little bit if you kind of push down on the model, but if you just push the model along, it does not roll. So this is not a rolling... Like, I can't say that it's not a rolling brand, but this particular model does not roll from the looks of it. But aside from that, it's a beautiful model. It looks very accurate. It's got a ton of detail on it. Lots of photo etched metal. The carbon fiber looks really good. In fact, this might rival LCD, which is a good thing. LCD has one of the best carbon fiber prints out there. They did clear coat over that carbon fiber, so that is really nice. It's really tight knit. I like the metallic silver they use for it. But yeah, the casting itself looks awesome. And like I said, there's just lots of detail. There are brake details in there. It's hard to see, but you do have I think they're drilled rotors, and then the calipers are red on this one. The wheels look good. You've got the red ring going around them. Tires are nice. And then they are pretty nicely detailed. In fact, there's actually a gap in between that small portion of the spokes. Man, it's really hard to see. Can I get some better lighting to show it off a little bit? Yeah, there is air going through the spokes on those. So that's actually really impressive. Most people will just mold them as one single piece and then kind of have the middle indented. So that is really nice. Really detailed wheels. Center locking caps look good. Of course, the back wheels are thicker than the front ones. So yeah, that's nice. Definitely like that. The wheels look good. Brake details look good. I know it's hard to see on camera. I need to get like a little like soft light that I can shine in the wheels at some point. But yeah, you've got lots of carbon fiber going along this bottom part right there. A little bit of venting down in there as well. You've got a little badge right here. I think that probably says Zonda Cinque on it, or maybe that's Horacio Pagani's signature. Can't really tell. It does look like a separate piece though, like a separate chrome piece that they put there. But the paint is a really nice metallic white, but it's a very subtle metallic, and the metal flake on it is really small. So I know some of you guys that were saying that Mini DT's paints aren't accurate. This looks much closer to like a 1/64 scale metal flake. So it does have a plastic base, which is kind of unfortunate. But honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. These real fragile models, you're probably not going to be handling too much anyways. So like the weight difference, and honestly, it has a really nice weight to it. Like it's decently heavy for what it is. So I think it probably has to do with all this extra detail in the engine bay and maybe the photo etched metal parts and stuff. But yeah, it actually feels very nice in the hands. It's a pretty chunky, hefty feeling model. Obviously not as heavy as like your normal Mini GT, but yeah, amazing carbon fiber. I can't get over how good that looks. You got the red stripe going down the center of the car. These headlights are actually acrylic lens, so those little round inserts in there are acrylic. It's kind of hard to see if there's actual like bulb detail back in that housing, but they look really good, and then the whole housing is done in that carbon fiber print too. So very nice. Got some plastic coming off on my finger from the bottom of it. So yeah, front end looks awesome. You've got the little windshield wiper mechanism right there with the Pagani logo on it. That's actually a separate piece as well. It's a little chrome badge. So I do like that. And then on the front up here, you've got your little fog lights down at the bottom, just painted in silver. And then this grill in that front area down in there is actually photo etched metal. You can't really see in it too much. Is it photo etched? Maybe it's not. No, I don't think it is photo etched. But it's a very detailed mesh though. So that is really nice. And then of course that whole front lip down there is carbon fiber as well. So very nice. Mirrors are very accurate, very small. They look insanely fragile, so be careful with them. But carbon fiber print on the mirrors looks awesome, and then reflective sticker, which is always nice. It's pretty standard on these more premium models. You've got the vents above the wheels right there, done in carbon fiber printing. I don't think there's any air passing through the actual vents, but that's okay. They look really good in carbon. And then, you know, you've got your little hood scoop at the top right there. All that stuff is done in carbon fiber. And then back here at the engine hatch, you've got photo etched metal, like a honeycomb type pattern on these on that vent right there, which looks amazing. And then you can see a little bit of the engine cover as well, which says Zonda Cinque, I believe. And that is also a separate piece, not printed, so very nice. And then you've got these little like air scoop things that come up off the side, kind of like the front of the fender, and those are carbon fiber, as you can see. And then the interior's also got some decent detail, it looks like. Pretty much black for the most part. I think the seats are all black, but you do have some nice carbon fiber detailing on the steering, on the top of the steering column, and on the dashboard right there in the center. So that is nice. There might be a little bit more color in there, hard to see. I'm probably not going to take this one apart, but yeah, it looks good. Is the windshield wiper a separate piece? It is a separate piece, and it's metal. So photo etched metal windshield wiper, love to see that. I know that's like a small detail that not a lot of people do, but it adds a lot to the model, in my opinion. So yeah, very nice. The rear wing right here is also done in all that carbon fiber, a little bit of red striping in the center. Unfortunately, the carbon fiber does not wrap around to the bottom of the wing, but you do have it on these little tiny side supports right there, which is nice. And then the really cool thing is you've got a really nice photo etched metal wing support. So those are metal supports. So I really like that. Here's a view of the back end. You have your Pagani lettering like on the top part of this little rear hatch in white. The exhaust details on this look incredible. This might be the best Pagani exhaust detail I've seen in 164. They are photo etched metal, and they are all straight. They're square. Most brands, a lot of brands do it in plastic, which doesn't always look great. But even some of the ones, I think like LCD might have done them in metal. A lot of the times they're just not square. They're just like crooked. So this is the straightest I've seen. Hopefully all of these are like that, and I didn't just get a good one, but that does look awesome. And then you've got more carbon fiber on the back, like the whole rear end of the car is carbon. Nice rear diffuser. The bottom of it's not carbon, which is something a lot of brands seem to do, but the top of it's all carbon fiber down in there. Taillights are acrylic, which again, a lot of times on these Paganis that have the real small circular taillights, they will just be painted, but these are acrylic. The top one is actually like an orange. It's hard to see on camera, but the top one is an orange acrylic circle. Then the middle ones are clear, and then the bottom ones are red, which is awesome. Photo etched metal, of course, across that entire back, and you can see some of that blue exhaust detail through there. It's awesome. You've got Zonda Cinque on the license plate. and that is just printed on, I believe. But then you also have a really nice chrome like Zonda Cinque badge on the back right there. I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. Maybe I should have looked that up. It's probably not pronounced that, but we'll just roll with it. But yeah, rear end looks fantastic. So I think that's pretty much everything, except for the engine detail. So it does come off. I wish it had magnets to hold it on. It does not have any magnets or clips or anything, so it just sets on there. No detail on the bottom of this. It's kind of just got like some paint overspray and some glue residue, which it's okay. It's the outside of the car that really matters, not the bottom of the panel. But yeah, I think my one major gripe about this is that it doesn't have anything to keep it on. And I don't necessarily mind if it doesn't, but there needs to be a plastic tray or something. There needs to be a plastic tray to at least hold it on the car while it's in the packaging. So that is I think so far that's my one complaint. But let's go ahead and take a look at all this detail because it really is kind of mind-blowing at this scale. So here it all is. So you've got a little bit of gold detail next to each wheel. I believe that's the suspension. I think I see like some spring molded into that gold right there. Of course, you've got your exhaust. It looks like quad exhaust. Yeah, well, of course it's quad exhaust, but quad exhaust going through. It looks like those blue parts are the mufflers or resonators or something. I'm not super knowledgeable about this kind of stuff, so you guys will have to bear with me. But that touch of blue is really nice. And then you've got chrome that goes out to the actual tips, and then white that goes down up to the headers. And yeah, it just looks amazing. You've got some little silver supports right there. And then you've got your valve covers. They do say AMG because I believe this has a V12 AMG engine in it. And those are done in chrome. You've got like a little container right there. Oh, wow. This thing is really cool. And then more carbon fiber. That I don't know exactly what that is. It might just be part of the air intake system. In fact, that probably is the air intake. Probably goes all the way down and into the engine. So that's really cool. It probably splits off from either side. Why isn't it focusing? Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. It probably splits off from either side and then goes into each side of the valve covers right there. And then there's a bunch of white detailing down below it. I think a lot of that is probably the exhaust. But I do see a little bit of the differential detail back in there too. So yeah, this thing is crazy. And then you've got these little carbon fiber pieces right there as well. There's a little bit of like stringy glue residue. Might be hard to see, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, super detailed. If you guys are wanting to know the price of this model, I think these go for about $40, maybe $35, and it's also possible that I did just overpay for it. I think I paid $35 plus shipping. So it ended up being I think it was like $41 USD and some change. But I think these are supposed to be around the $30 mark. But with that amount of detail, I think that is like absolutely amazing. This thing looks incredible. Like I said, only complaint so far is that there's no way to keep it down, no clips or anything, no magnets, and nothing in the actual packaging, no molded blister. And the other thing that kind of is unfortunate, but it's not horrible, is there is quite a bit of panel gaps, and this doesn't sit on there tightly because there's no magnets or anything. And so there are some pretty big panel gaps, but, you know, it kind of is what it is. I don't think it's horrible. Especially from the back end, it doesn't look bad at all. From the sides, not horrible, but yeah, it does kind of shift around. So, but I do like how there's that empty space, like where that little logo is on that air intake. I believe that's the air intake, probably like an air channel. But yeah, pretty nice. I definitely dig it. I will continue buying more from this brand. Hopefully they figure out a better way to do the opening parts. But overall, I'm impressed with it, and I do recommend this. As long as they stay legit and keep up making fully licensed products, I will continue to buy them. I obviously won't buy every single one they release, but I'll definitely start collecting this brand. I think for the price, these are really detailed. Definitely on the lines of like an LCD. now the LCD is doing opening parts too. So yeah, and I think this also would probably compete with the opening part stuff that Motor Helix does, the opening part stuff that AR Box did, that Zonda, that Zonda R. Definitely, I think, competes with it. So yeah, there is the Pagani Zonda Cinque by FiberRun. Definitely recommend it. It is a little bit on the pricier side, but the amount of detail you get for it, I definitely think is worth it. Just be really careful with it after you've opened it up, if you open it up. So yeah, you guys will have to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Yeah, FiberRun, keep it up. Definitely keep it up. I like this. I like this a lot. And honestly, I don't think I need another Zonda Cinque in my collection. This is probably like the pinnacle. So yeah, maybe AR or maybe LCD will do one at some point with like a removable hatch that we can do a comparison or something. But yeah, for the time being, this is all I need for the Zonda Cinque. Maybe like one more color. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.